Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Yo, and hello, folks and fam. Welcome. This is MS and Millennial shit. I'm your host, Ange, and I'm so happy to be here, that you're here, that you're, taking the time to listen to this. Anyway, that's so awesome, and I appreciate you so much. Y'all are awesome, and I'm excited to get into today's show. I want to let you know, if you want to keep up with what's going on outside of the show for me, you can go ahead and follow the show page at Instagram, and that's M.S_squared, so SQUARED, or on the Facebook page at MS Squared, no periods or underscores needed, and you would just search MS Squared, and it will take you to the show page. So that's where I like to share things outside of doing these doses, because I feel like there's so much information, such a multitude of information and group love involved in the MS community that it's really kind of overwhelming, but I'm excited to be a part of it and excited to share what's going on with me and stuff, and just others that I bring onto the show who are quite fascinating. And just know that you all are fascinating, and I really appreciate you. I wanted to go ahead and let y'all know updates about me. I do hope that y'all had a wonderful week, that you have been, just exuding and receiving all the love and positivity that there is to be had in this world. And yeah, it's all for you, so go ahead and soak it up. I definitely have had quite a weekend. This weekend was sort of an anniversary for my partner and I, and we went to a music festival, which was really dope. Thousands of people were there. It was at a huge stadium here in my neck of the woods, and it was so satisfying. I got to see so many awesome acts. There were so many cool individuals just who attended there, and it was amazing that we were all united by music, and we don't know each other, but there's so many people there, and I really sort of, for lack of better saying, get off on that, you know what I mean? That's sort of the same deal with the MS community. I'm fortunate to be able to have been able to start connections with individuals who have MS this year, and would love to keep that going on, but as a group and a community, we are so far beyond awesome. It's intense, and I know that it's interesting because it's we're going through these journeys of MS, which, aren't the easiest. They cause a lot of grief. They cause a lot of, we wish that wasn't the case type of feeling, just so that it could be a little, easier. Or even if you never felt that, which I can't imagine myself, having had MS for 15 years, never imagining that. But, I like to tend to stick to the positive in things, and that's a big part of why I feel I've been brought to this point in my life where I am reaching out and I am taking the opportunity to engage and engross myself more so in the MS community than I ever have, and than I've ever even thought of doing before in the past. And likewise, why I appreciate it so much, because I feel, seeing MS or knowing that I have MS, it is a struggle, and it has been a struggle, and it's unfortunate, of course, just like any other situation involving a long-term terminal condition, maybe. And I just wanted to talk about embracing the struggle today and sort of connect a few dots that I've already mentioned and a few that are to be brought up. So yeah, let's just get into the thick of it. So when this weekend was a harrowing weekend, I think I'm using that word correctly, but definitely I didn't imagine, like, I've been there before. I've been there, this is my third time attending, and I feel like I forget how extraneous of a journey it is to go there, to, go through the crowds of individuals and find a spot, to stick a spot, to go up and down risers, and how much of a mental defeat it sort of presented, and how much as a physical body and as a spiritual body I had to really work on defeating that. And I was so fortunate to have my partner there to assist me with, being guided through the crowds and things like that. But at the same time, there was still this air of, being a burden and being in the way of people, which is unfortunate to say, but it really was. And even for my partner, I felt like, I thought in the moment that I was sort of being a drag for him to get the fullness out of this experience. And I was so happy that was not necessarily the case. I think that I'm one of those type of people that likes to be positive, but unfortunately, I think because of the way that I've grown up and the situations that I've been in, I sort of expect the worst, or I anticipate the worst, rather, or not the worst, but not the best outcome. So I really was so fortunate to have my partner there to sort of be someone who not only balanced me physically, but balanced me energetically, and just kept me, optimistic, and kept me going, and didn't allow me to use that thought process as an excuse to not experience things to the fullest, and to not hold myself back from going into the crowd and making my way and things like that. I felt so humbled on the final night that we went. My partner was just, continued to vocally reassure me, and, just other crowd goers that, we're in this together, and that, he would be there to tell me, you're doing a great job. He'd be there to say, keep going. And I really appreciate that. And that really did help with the struggle. And I sort of want to amplify that, because I feel like there's so much times when I talk about, how much having a support system and supporting each other, how important that is. And I never really felt that as strongly as I did with this past weekend, because if you would have seen me, I had my cane, I had my MS, I took it with me, I had no choice on that one, but I took all that and it was very visible, of the times where it's like, oh, invisible, it was very visible, and still there were some skeptical faces. And I don't know if it's because I've always sort of, I've been very aware of that because of MS being, gradually getting worse, not, I don't want to say worse, but progressing, that I've, sort of witnessed how people react to me. And I've also brought this up in the past, like, once you have that perception, for some people, it's hard to go past it. And I really didn't want anyone to try to cause trouble with us. It was a pretty aggressive crowd, but in a positive way for the most part. I didn't see any fights, there's a lot of moshing, but I didn't see any fights, and that was really great, that was kind of relieving. But at the same time, like, certain individuals, like, that we did approach gave some adverse responses to me, even though, I was on a cane and I was smiling because I was enjoying myself. There was a point where my partner even was like, are you enjoying yourself? And, I really was, because for me, it was sort of like a religious experience attending this festival. And it always is. I say that as the time meter meets 11:11, which is really awesome. But the struggle was very obvious and very real. And I felt like, even though I realized I was struggling, it sort of pushed me to go and, go a little further than I even thought that I could. And, my partner also, he pushed me too, but inside of me, I knew, like, not only did I want to share this experience, I wanted it to be the best that it could be. So, I just wanted to say, I am really sore right now. I've been sort of taken out by severe allergies for the past 2 days, but I am happy to have done everything, and I am so grateful to have gotten to see my favorite band, System of a Down, play live. I got terrible pictures of them, but at the same time, luckily there's Facebook groups about the festival as well, and there are wonderful pictures on there. So I really appreciate being able to be a part of that, and it really was something that my whole life I had been waiting for. So I really appreciate that. And I know, like, I'm 28. My life hasn't been too long or too short, but that was definitely probably the highlight of my life. Period. Period, the end. That's it. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so, yes, definitely, I hope that next year, if we go, we maybe do a little conditioning before, some stretching. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I had to divide the show up into 2 parts because my allergies just were not having it, and the environmental noises were not cutting it. So I had to go ahead and divide the show into 2 days so that I can give you the best of what I have to offer for this episode, for this dose. And I'm still miserable in terms of being afflicted with these severe allergies, and I am kind of, like, this show is going to really delve into, is I'm kind of suffering. I've been struggling. I am fairly new to receiving allergies of this extent, and I wasn't really sure. I thought I was sick. I still think I might be sick, but I figure because I usually am in the house, that when I did go out to the event, when I just expose myself to the outside world. It sort of took a, thank you, my cat just bought me a gift. It sort of just took a toll on my immune system, which is obviously already compromised by multiple sclerosis. My cat is playing fetch with me and cooing, and she is the cutest thing. Where's the toy? Okay, so, but yes, I wanted to go ahead and finish and complete this dose for y'all, so that I could get a dose out for one. But obviously, because I love doing this and I love just connecting in a way that, you know, is sort of mysterious, and that's kind of funny because that is something that would just come out of me right now, and what I'm saying, because I did do a spread today, which I haven't done in days, being that there's so much going on. And one of the cards that did come out is Mystery. And I want to go ahead and discuss the cards that did come out. I'm not going to delve too deep into it. Oh, my cat Missy had quite a bit of a spill in the other room. Had to check on that. But I want to just go through the different cards that really sort of spoke to me. So there were 6 cards altogether. There was the throat chakra, and I think that's a lot to do with my situation right now. I am having a lot of phlegm and a lot of issues with that, so I think that's more of a personal thing. But if you feel like it speaks to you and you feel like maybe you've been silenced, maybe that speaks to you as well. And also another card that came out was Authority, which I'm not quite so sure about, but I think it has something to do with this little lady here, and just, you know, being not ruling with an iron fist, but, you know, really letting her know that she's loved and she's safe. Also came Healing, which is something I definitely want to talk about and definitely want to get into. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. And I think that is like dotted I's and crossed T's, the truth. Those cards were from the Activation Sacred Geometry card deck that I have. And then I also pulled from the other deck. I have the Power deck, Cards of Wisdom. And the 3 cards I got from there were number 45, Humor, in East Yellow. Number 18, Mystery, which I did discuss, or I told y'all about already. And that's West Black. And then the last one is 38, Essence, in East Yellow. And I feel like this definitely sort of like sums up the whole, my personal understandings of how powerful struggling is. I mean, everybody's going through struggles, and it's just different degrees of struggles. And so I want to bring it all back and say, like, you know, going back to the cards, we need to embrace our struggles for the most part so that we can then get that healing and learn to treat ourselves in a better way and not be caught up in the haze of experiencing that grief and that sorrow and that hardship that usually comes with struggle. Because yes, that all is a part of it, but you don't have to make it all of it, and you can really always find some light in darkness if you fight to look, if you fight to bring out that light, even if that means you become the light yourself. And I feel like that sort of is further amplified by this Essence card. So I put some stones on top of the cards as well, and I just wanted to talk about the card that the stones I put on top of the Essence card, which is the Angelite, and enhances group telepathic and angelic communication. It helps one's spiritual journey and astral travel and encourages one to speak their truth while dispelling anger. And I think that this is awesome to place on top of Essence, because I feel like we all like, even in my readings and my research and in my stalking, not stalking actually, but when I read on Brene Brown, a lot of what she says is that we're natural storytellers. And so the act of expression comes natural to us, and it should. Although, there's a lot of things that are done in the world to try to stifle people's expression. And I feel like Angela helps to really embrace and amplify being able to open up. And also at that same extent, I see here that the throat chakra was the first card that came out. And on top of that, I put Tiger's Eye because it enhances physical strength. It produces soothing vibrations, generating a calmness to unsettled turmoil, and allowing one to enjoy the actions of being unfenced and uninhibited. And I think that I put Tiger on top of that card really because we do have that natural sense of expression, that essence of expression that is natural to us. And sometimes, like I said, it's stifled. We aren't sure how to get it out. And I feel like with struggling, it becomes so much more of a barrier, which enhances the struggle. And I don't think that we should be enhancing the struggle. I think we should talk about what's going on. That's why also I started drilling, and a lot of people, psychology and just doctors in general drill in how important support systems are. And I think that also goes with healing. Missy, get out of there. It goes with healing, and that goes with the authority card, because I feel like authority is more so taking control of life, of your life, of what the outcome of your days will be, being in control and in charge. And I think that once you realize that you are in control of so much more, of so much more than you figured initially, that's where that healing can also broaden and become more of a stronger muscle that you exercise. This concept of healing is so important, and I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm having so many allergic problems. It's been so misconstrued, and it's sort of been jumbled around for us. And the thing is, like, most people don't heal the same as other people, and though there are like different therapies for everything, pretty much almost everything, to help with whatever you're going through, whether that's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, the actual constant of healing comes when you take back your authority that you have over your life. And I love that the humor card came up, because a lot of the time the way to do that is through smiling and laughing. Smiling and laughing are some of the most healing things to do for the soul. I remember I used to be invited to comedy clubs all the time in LA for a given period of time, and when I look at life outside of, going to the comedy clubs, I was going through so much struggle just aside from MS that I feel like if I hadn't taken advantage of those opportunities, which is also taking authority of your life, I really would have not been as grateful as able to deal with the struggles that had come afterward. And I really am appreciative of this life. I'm really grateful for every day that I get to wake up. I'm grateful for this crazy cat that I live with every day and my crazy partner who drives me crazy in the best of ways for the most part, the majority of the time. And I think the way that I am dealing with my struggles is by embracing these times that I have and embracing these moments that I really dive into, and I don't dismiss the fact that I have multiple sclerosis, because that's not something that I can do. That's never been something that I can do, but it's something that I fought so hard to do. And I think that it's time to embrace all of the struggle like never before, because, just looking out at the state of the world and everything, we can't give up. We have to hold on to and take back our authority, if that means really connecting with our support systems, if that means really connecting with ourselves intrinsically. We need to be able to do that. That's a part of who we are as humans, whether we have MS or not. And yeah, I'm really happy to be able to have come back on here and just sort of gone through this. I did, because I'm so not feeling well, I did do this cards read for the show specifically. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, you can go ahead and message me. Send me an email at ms.ahhhnj@gmail.com, or you can check out the many social medias, which is really only 2 right now. So you can check out the Instagram for MS and Millennial Squared, and that's M.S_squared, and then the Facebook is MS Squared. 2 words, no periods, no underscore for the Facebook. And I actually just posted something all about struggle and how once you take that authority back, or once you just let it go, not your authority, but let the struggle go, the hurt, the turmoil that you're feeling go, how it opens up avenues and channels for more positive things to be implemented into your life. And so with that, since I'm about that time, I want to say thank you so much again for listening to MS and Millennial Shit. And I hope that you're back next week, still working on some episodes and some doses to come up. And I thank you so much. I definitely have to sneeze, so I'm going to hit the road. And I hope you have a great week. All right, y'all. MS Squared out.